So in module 1, these are the topics that will be covered. So we'll start with basics of data modeling. What is a need that drives a data model creation? The information that we need to account for creating a data model, the purpose of it, and the end objective. Along with that, the benefits, the scope, and also the industry terminology. So these are the topics at a glance that will be covered in our upcoming session. Now, so in any enterprise, data gathering is a continuous process. Irrespective of what form or what location the data is coming from or the data is in, we have to process it and store it. So this need for ever-growing data has led to the evolution of data modeling. Data modeling has started only when an industry had enormous amount of data and was unable to decide how to store it and how to retrieve it. So when you're looking at a large pile of data, it becomes very challenging task in maintaining it. This is where most of the industry is struggling. So data modeling has addressed all those problems and offered a brilliant solution, leveraging which data can be very well organized and very effectively retrieved. Okay, so we will come to that. We will understand how a data modeling is doing all of this. Okay. So before that, let's understand the nature of data. Okay, so here I have put some icons of different forms of data. So the data can be coming from Excel sheets, flat files, RDBMS like tables or a web service or an ERP. So every organization gathers data at different levels, whether it be financial data, which is of course a very crucial part of any organization because it involves revenue and profit. Money matters, right? If no profit, forget about the DM, I mean the data model. There is no IT in the first place. So what I'm saying is IT employee salaries may not be costly, but IT is not cheap. So financial data is very crucial in any organization. So okay, this financial data, and then supply chain data like inventory, stock replenishment, all that. Then we have human resources data, all the employee staff I have employed, customer base, infrastructure data, and so on. So we have so we can categorize data in different forms. So these are yeah, financial data is very crucial, but along with that, these all are also very crucial to any organization. So when we are looking at data like this, say during the initial phase of any organization, data maintenance is not a much issue. So we may not be looking at all these verticals because mostly data which is coming in any form will be stored in the same form. I mean, when I say like I have set up a bookstore, Okay, bookstore down my street, very small one. So the transactions happening there day in day out will be a handful only. So most of my recording keeping will be on books. But gradually, gradually when I increase my business, when I expand by opening new branches at various locations, and along with the sales, I also started lending books, assume, started membership programs, promotions, etc., etc. Down the line of 5 years, I'll be having what? I will be having good amount of data. Maybe data in all these verticals. Yeah. So now when we are talking data of such volumes, we need to have a effective way of storing the data and retrieving the data. See, I will tell you a typical problem that I can run into if I don't have such things. So take my bookstore example only. I have started with a small store, then I have expanded, started various programs, then I am down the line of say 5 or 10 years. But I always find marginal amounts missing between returns and investments. IR ratio somewhere is not tallying. There are unaccounted miscellaneous costs. I cannot be 100% sure on my numbers. Always I sense that there is a leak somewhere that I am unable to identify. This is happening because of what? Because I don't have a standard way of storing this data, a standard way to retrieve this data. So to back up my numbers, when I when I started my business, maybe most of my data was coming in flat files and I kept it in the same form. Then I started with one or two branches, so I realized that maintaining data in the raw form is not helping me much. Then I started maintaining sheets, Excel sheets. Yeah, I then somehow managed to meet all my requirements and I was happy. But my business was still increasing. I have started online portal. I have started taking requests from internet. I need to now have tables at the back end to support all this. So I have went to RDBMS, created tables, but mostly they serve as transactional tables. So maybe one is tables connected to a feedback form or a registration form. Yeah. So data is getting accumulated, but do I have a relation, a meaningful relation across all this data? Uh, I have doing online sales as well. So I am getting data in JSON files or XML files from web services. Or my business has grown to such a level now I have to employ an ERP. I have to take help of an ERP solution. But what I'm missing, so okay, I am meeting my needs at various levels. As my data is increasing, I am scaling up my applications also. But do I have a model which connects all these points, and is that model scalable or not? So that's where the industry is struggling, and that's where the data model will pitch in. It's not that always I start with a small organization, then I grow up, that's why I have all these complexities. No, no. So maybe take example of Burger King, my favorite place. So Burger King, which is set up at say suburban or towns, will be having less infrastructure. So maybe the sale transactions that happening there will be recorded only in Excel files. But stores which are set up in cities or metros may have good infrastructure, and RDBMS is implemented. Maybe the data is stored in tables. And at the head office, data gets stored in ERP. So when I'm looking at facts, I mean the sales, say like the first quarter sales of the current financial year, all my systems should give me a single number. I shouldn't have multiple numbers coming from multiple systems for same query. Yeah, quarter one sales, okay, 240 millions. So all of my systems should be pointing to that number. How can I achieve that? Only by having a well-defined, well-content data model. So here I have 4 points that will cover the definition of data modeling in most industry relevant way. Okay. So first, to begin with understanding data modeling, we have to understand entities. So the data which is coming should be made into an entity, a self-sufficient entity. So when I was telling you about different verticals of data that may come in, so here you see I have different verticals of data. Okay. So when I'm looking at financial data, don't confuse this with entities. These are not entities. Okay. When I'm looking at financial data, what I can have? I can have invoice data, invoices that I have to pay, purchase orders that I have to procure, spend that I am spending on my organization, maybe maintenance. Yeah. Then all this transaction should be time dependent. When I say invoice, so somebody is actually selling me goods. So who are they? Vendor. So these are the entities which are self-sufficient and self-bound. So first we have to identify them. Once we identify, later we should establish relationships between these entities. So that is nothing but integrity. So when we are able to identify these entities and establish relationships among these entities, majority of our data modeling is done. So the going forward classes will be in detail covering what are entities, how to identify entities, how to structure them, and how to establish this integrity will be covered in great detail. So you don't need to worry about them at this point in time. But yeah, at this point in time, you have to understand that data modeling starts by understanding the entities in the data, then integrity among them. So then once these two are done, we can have a historical data with the help of a time variant. We can store year on year data by by time bonding it. So this data model will be going forward our single point of source or truth for the entire organization. So this data model can be called as data source or data mart. In some organizations, it can be called as ODC, operational data center, or simply data warehouse. Ralph Kimball is father of data warehousing or data modeling. So this is a guy who has given the classic definition for data warehousing. What did he say? A data warehouse is a copy of transactional data specifically structured for query and analysis. So always a data modeling or data warehousing is done on top of a transactional data, right? So we have gathered data. So we have collected data in different forms. But this is all what? This is all transactional data. Day in, day out operations, sale transaction, procurement transaction, human resource entry transaction, infrastructure maintenance transaction. So these all are day-to-day transactions. So hence called transactional data. So this data will be further segregated and stored in a specific structure which will easy querying and analysis. That's what he meant. Data warehouse is a copy of transaction data. Same transactional data is copy which specifically structured for querying and analysis. This is his uh, more of a theoretical definition, but later on, Bill Iman is a guy who has given a well contentful definition for data warehouse. A data warehousing is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile collection of data that supports decision-making process. So each point he has mentioned in the definition has its own meaning. So for example, if we say subject oriented, so first it has to be subject oriented. So first you have to decide on which vertical we are building a data modeling, whether it's around financial data, supply chain data, human resource data, infrastructure data. Yeah, so first you have to decide on which vertical. Don't confuse this with entity. So our data model should be subject oriented. Then comes integrated. A data warehouse should be able to be integrate with multiple data sources, not just one. Yeah, data may be coming from different locations, but it has to be integrated meaningfully. We should identify relations across multiple data points and then normalize them. Time variant. It has to be time variant. Data modeling has to be time variant. For example, if I have a data model created for invoice data, I should be able to quickly tell what is the volume of invoices that I received last year, how many invoices are received, how much amount I paid in the last year first quarter and the current year first quarter. Means how much increase or decrease is there in the first quarter of current year and last year. So when I specifically look at transactions like this by time variant, so my data model should have capability to ease these transactions. It should have a capability of simplifying time related queries. That's one of the essence of data modeling, and it should be non-volatile. Means what? Data modeling, the data in the data model should always maintain consistency. It should not change. It should not get modified. At any point in time, it should give me the same answer for the same query. That's with the definition part of data modeling. Okay. So data modeling is also at the end of the day in tables. But as I said, it's more conceptual. So when I have a traditional database, which is more of a transactional database, mostly it will be either to capture screen data or to collect form data. Forms data, you have forms and then you collect data. Data modeling is more than this. Data modeling should be flexible enough to support any kind of analytics that gonna be performed on it. This data model should be scalable along with the flexibility. So it should be flexible and scalable. So what happens in industry is most of the times the data modeling starts with data warehouse building, but that's not how it should be done. First we should be developing a conceptual model, more like an abstract model, where we will identify entities first. We will identify entities first, and then from entities we derive attributes, and from attributes we go to physical implementation. Now here I have used terminologies which you may not be able to relate, but you will understand them as we progress.